maybe it sounds a little harsh. Maybe it wasn't so bad in your case, but we all know experiences in our childhood when we wanted to share from how we felt with our parents or something, and it didn't suit them, or they didn't want to hear it, or they didn't truly receive it, and you felt disappointed, and you maybe even decided not to bring out your heart's feelings anymore because of the disappointing reaction to your pure love sharing. And that can all be undone here in accepting the order of mission. First, you will heal all these things inside of yourself. That may take some time. But then mission starts to be like, oh, this is only one thing that I'm supposed to do here. Oh, gosh. And I thought that I could do 100 things. And I thought that I could do 35 different jobs. I don't know. I want to taste it all. I want to go everywhere and do everything. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute. I'm actually created in my union to live my mission. And that's actually only one thing. There's one thing that I can do in this moment that fits the bill best, so to speak. And that's what you can do now. And of course, we all need to have some trials and test projects and test periods for finding yourself in different forms and actions that seem to fit you, or maybe not so much fit you, or just have a taste of that, try it out. Of course, that's all part of reality of being human. That's totally understandable. But in the end, I got to know that there was actually only one thing that I was here to share, and that's what I'm sharing now. That's what we're doing. And everything that I have created in a couple of decades was actually leading up to this, leading up to, well, sharing harmonious twin flame union and mission business, and like the abundant life that this is all the door towards, right? And everything that I have created and built up beforehand was actually meant to have and be this. So in the past, like 10 years ago, I did try a whole couple of things in a sense that the wording was trying out different angles. Like the way I was trying to stand in the world had different, I don't know, like, yeah, well, what I said, wordings or what have you, because I try to bring actually the same like spiritual truth and stuff with the wording of that you were looking for your soul creativity inside of yourself. And it was about the exact same all the time. And like years before that, I was mostly active like as a poet to write my poetry and perform them and publish them in magazines and publish them in books and whatnot. And I was very proficient in that. And that was actually also about making visible and audible this inner world of inner experiences that would lead to the transformative power of inner peace, and about how it feels to be on the twin flame journey and what the inner landscape of that is, and how to meet in that inner landscape this one ultimate romantic partner, or to be confused about that and how that feels. And that's what my poetry was about. So it was actually all the same, but in like different guises. But at this moment, after a couple decades of development and coming into harmonious twin flame union and feeling the power of the divine order of creation organizing me on the inside, and that then comes out as within, so without, I have bundled it all together, and I've decided to bring it more directly to you and more under the actual names that is truly known as. It's spiritual development to go to your harmonious twin flame union and also develop your mission business. And it is about coming in the abundance of your spirit self that you truly are in your union, and make that all come true in a lived reality, which I know we can create for you. There is already enough proof, you know, this is created through me, in people around me. Divine Mother showed me every time for people that it works on them when they come to me for their help. Every time, almost automatically, there they go. When they take my hand, you know, people have free will in that sense, and some people don't want to take my hand, even though their mouth says it. And then it will perhaps not fully work out for them, which is then also, you can see that's their responsibility. People have their own responsibility, right? This is a relationship that we're having. So that is a little bit about my mission and how I mean, to make this possible, to have everything in one and all the things I did before in one, and still feel like I'm a poet and still feel like I'm a creativity teacher, but have it all in one, in focused into the true mission and inhabit it fully in the core, in the heart, and just be that, and that's it. End of story. This is my mission. That's what's happening now. And that came into being through a lot of healing, inner healing for myself. I felt the biggest resistance to bring this to you. It took me years. And even like 3 years before today, or 2 years before today, even 1 year before today, I was still in huge doubt and resistance. If I should do it, should I really? Am I really daring to speak up? Am I really wanting to bring this out everywhere, like out loud, you know? So, and the same sort of thing that is going on is when people are like, yeah, I'm on the twin flame journey and I'm going to now talk about a lot about and express a lot about my psychological issues. Like, maybe I get to know when I move closer to them that I have difficulty moving closer to them because of my attachment style or my attachment trauma that I have gotten as a small child when I was needing to learn how to attach to people by having that exemplified by me and my mother or close caregiver or father or whomever that was there supposed to bond with you. And it didn't really work out. And then you still see that when you are grown up and you're like, oh, I'm actually afraid of intimacy. Yeah, that's clearly because of that developmental trauma that is still living inside of me, although it is like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or whatnot, 20 years ago, whatever it is for you. And then people talk about the psychology of that and how, yeah, you might, with therapeutic attention for it, that you might first want to do yourself, and by expressing yourself about it and talking about it and exchanging about it with other people, how you can slowly see that differently and get an understanding of this phenomena and get an understanding of how that was created inside of you. So maybe you can uncreate it, right? Sounds good, because I want to have an intimate romantic relationship. That's like part of the whole deal of twin flames, isn't it? Well, it is. That's true. But there's also a whole lot wrong with this approach. And you never may have guessed this, and I completely understand, because it sounds so sane. It sounds so holy even, you know, to do that, to work on your intimacy issues and other psychological phenomena. There are many, you know. I don't know. Lying. Are you lying? Are you not lying? What are your values? What are boundaries, actually, you know? Do you have problems running in your multi-generational background that are maybe also even of psychiatric nature and Is there a tendency towards narcissism? And what exactly is that? Isn't that a developmental issue also? Except maybe when people say that it is completely baked into your brain to an incredible degree that it's not really able to be taken out of that anymore in this lifetime or something. But maybe it is in Twin Flame Inner Work. And that is where I try to go with this, because it all sounds so good, so sacred, so like, what a good idea to look in all these avenues for yourself of mental health, of ADHD, of autism, of I don't know what. It seems like such a healthy move. And I won't be saying that it's not healthy. It is. It is. This is a huge part of being human, and it's very informative to know a little bit about all of these things and where approximately you stand in these things. Oh, absolutely. But the point is that there's something wrong when you think that is what works with twin flames. That this is the core of what you need to study for twin flames. That this is the point when you would just understand enough how much you have early trauma so that your attachment style is influenced. That when you've known that enough and healed that enough in the psychological level of you inside of that one, that then the true twin flame will be known to you and you're able to be with them, and it won't be any problem anymore, and it will be beautiful and romantic and everything that you would want from a romantic relationship. And, there's something deeply wrong with that, and I'm really sorry for you when you thought that, but I just want to be very clear. That is not so. For twin flames, you do twin flame work with twin flame tools to work on the twin flame layer inside of your humanity. And that is not the psychological layer. It is actually the spiritual layer inside of you. And I know that people that talk a lot about psychology and psychology of the couple that they are forming right now and how they feel about that and how they develop that in themselves and among each other. They feel that they are very spiritual people often. But the point is that spiritual work, inner work, spiritual development is actually another layer of life altogether. And that is what will bring you the true twin flame. In harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. Well, I'm sure we're going to talk more about what the heck that is, right, in future episodes. And that's another thing. It's another deal. It's another tool. It's another teacher that is about that. It's another approach that is here to be an overarching layer inside of you, an overarching tool, an overarching layer of development. And the teacher that belongs to that is the teacher of that whole unionized part of you. And inside it, yeah, you're still a human being with a psychology, absolutely. And when you do that correct twin flame inner work on that level, you will have results that have all the more influence on your psychology. Absolutely. And you will start to see new approaches in your own psychology that you've never seen before, that are so true as a result of having done the twin flame inner work, the spiritual inner work, the spiritual development. And even your energy will change, because did you know that your energy and your psychology are actually sort of one? And they're not the layer of the twin flame. They're not the layer of the union of your humanity. So yeah, there's a lot wrong actually with how people approach twin flames, or what they believe it is, or how they think they can make it come true. When they talk about these phenomena and how to do it and how to bring you forward on the journey and whatnot, on all kinds of media and in paid coaching sessions and whatnot. And yeah, that is often well meant, and that's kind of logic. There are very many well-meaning people, and at the same time, it is true that we live in a time frame in which it is more available for everyone to be with the true twin flame early in the journey, and that's awesome too. But that doesn't mean that the idea that we're more called than ever early in the journey to be with your true twin flame, and that well-meaning people talk about psychology and energy, it doesn't mean that that works. So yeah, there is a lot wrong with twin flames and how it is presented often and how it is taught often and how it doesn't work often, right? With what you hear, with what you read, with what you are researching on blogs and whatnot, in books, all these things. So I think that what is really wrong with twin flames in general, what you see and hear and do and whatnot,